You wake up in your penthouse apartment on Fifth Avenue. The year is 1929. You are 32 years old, and you are about to make the biggest mistake of your life, but you don't know it yet. You've worked for 10 years to get here. Vice President of Merchants Trust Bank. 3% of the profits. You have everything. The stock market has gone up for 5 straight years. Every taxi driver, every maid, every shoeshine boy, they're all buying stocks and making money. Lots of it. Your car pulls up to Wall Street. You can feel it in the air. This is the place where dreams come true. This is where money is made. Your office is on the 6th floor. Corner windows, you have a secretary, an assistant, and a direct line to the most powerful men in finance. It's 9:30 in the morning. The stock exchange opens in 30 minutes. And your phone is already ringing. Your first client of the day. Your client is a railroad magnate. He wants to buy 5,000 shares of General Electric. "I'll make a fortune," he says. Everyone is. You smile. You agree. You place the order. You don't ask hard questions. Nobody does. Why would they? The market never goes down. Professionals agree on this. Economists agree on this. Even bankers like you. We all agree. The opening bell rings. 10 o'clock. $3 billion change hands in the first hour. You handle millions of it. You are part of the machine. By noon, you've already made commission on $3 million of trades. Your secretary brings you lunch, sandwiches from a fancy deli. You eat at your desk, one eye on the ticker tape. Your net worth has grown 80% in the last year. Not from salary, from your private portfolio. You're leveraged heavily. You borrowed money to buy stocks. Most of your wealth doesn't actually belong to you yet. But you don't worry about that. Why would you? The market will keep going up. It always does. So you buy more, you borrow more, just like everyone else. Your wife doesn't understand the details. She just knows you're successful. You take her to the best restaurants, Broadway shows. Your daughter goes to the best schools. Your son, he'll go to Yale. You've already decided. October 5th, 1929. A small headline appears in the Times. Stock prices slip. It's nothing. A correction. Natural. You've seen corrections before. They're buying opportunities. October 12th. Prices fall another 10%. You don't panic. Nobody does. This is the smart money, the professionals, buying the dip. You add to your positions. Then on Thursday, October 24th, Black Thursday, something changes. 10 million shares trade. A record. But now, they're all being sold. The ticker can't keep up. Orders pile up. Your phone rings off the hook. Clients want to sell. Panic sells. You tell them to hold. This will pass, you say, but you're not sure anymore. By the closing bell, $16 billion of wealth has evaporated. Your personal portfolio is down 30%. You've lost $400,000 in one day. And the worst isn't over. Friday, you hope for relief. Instead, there's more selling. 16 million shares. Your hands shake as you work. You need this to stop. You need the market to bounce back. You need a miracle. The bankers meet in secret. You're not invited. You're too junior, but you hear the rumors. They might close the exchange. They might declare a bank holiday. Everything could freeze. You do the math. Your loan from the bank is $1,200,000. Your portfolio is worth $800,000 now. You're underwater. If this continues, you're ruined. You call your broker. Your voice is controlled, professional, but inside you're terrified. Liquidate everything, you say. Sell it all, get me out. But there are no buyers. Everyone is selling. The price of everything is in free fall. You're trying to escape a building, but every door is locked and the floor is burning. Monday, October 28th. Black Monday. The worst day in market history. 13 million shares, all selling. Your last positions are liquidated at 50 cents on the dollar. In 72 hours, you've gone from wealthy to bankrupt. Your net worth is negative $600,000. You owe the bank money you don't have. The bank calls your loan. You have 30 days to pay. You don't have $30. You don't have 30 cents. You go home to your wife. You don't know what to tell her. How do you explain that the life you built on sand is now gone, that you gambled with her future? She cries. Your son asks why he can't go to Yale. Your daughter asks if they're poor now. You don't have good answers. You failed them. You thought you were smart. You thought you were different. You were wrong. You're not alone. Thousands like you are now bankrupt. Some jump from office windows. The suicide rate in New York triples. You think about it just once, then you remember your family. The bank seizes the house. The car is repossessed. You move to a small apartment in the outer boroughs. You're 40 years old, and you start over. You take a job as a financial advisor for a small company. The salary is a tenth of what you used to make. But you're grateful. You have a job. Many don't. By 1933, the unemployment rate is 30%. People are standing in bread lines. Children are starving. The Great Depression grips America, and you realize you were just the beginning. You read about the congressional hearings. They're investigating what happened. Bankers are being called to testify. They explain, "We didn't see it coming. Nobody could have predicted it." But you did see warning signs. Margin lending was out of control. Stock prices didn't reflect real value. People were buying stocks they didn't understand with money they didn't have. Everyone knew it. You knew it. You just didn't want to know it. 30 years later, you're a grandfather. You never return to Wall Street. You live a quiet life. But you think about 1929 often, and you ask yourself, what happened to me? Why didn't I see the truth? The answer is simple. Greed. Not the greed of one man, but the collective delusion of millions. Everyone wants to believe their wealth is real. Everyone wants to believe the party never ends. The system that destroyed you is still in place. Banks still leverage customers' money. Margin trading is still legal. The conflicts of interest haven't changed. Only the names on the buildings have changed. In 2008, history nearly repeated itself. Subprime lending, mortgage-backed securities, banks betting billions with customer money, another financial crisis, another wave of suicides, another generation of families destroyed. But you, the banker of 1929, you died before 2008. You died believing you were a victim of circumstances. You never accepted your responsibility, and that perhaps was your greatest loss. And here's the question for you, watching this now, in 2024, are you doing the same thing? Are you leveraged? Are you buying things you don't fully understand? Are you trusting systems that benefit from your blindness? Cryptocurrency, meme stocks, options trading on your phone, debt at all-time highs, stock valuations at levels not seen since 1929, different vehicles, same delusion. The difference between you and the banker of 1929? Knowledge. You can see what he couldn't. You can learn from his mistakes. But you have to want to. You have to be willing to look at the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Ask yourself these questions. How much of my wealth is based on debt? How much do I actually understand about my investments? Am I buying because I believe or because everyone else is buying? What would happen if the market dropped 50% tomorrow? Most people won't ask. Most people will continue to believe that the party never ends, that they're different, that it won't happen to them. They said the same thing in 1929. But here's what's different. You're not forced to play the game. You don't have to leverage yourself to the limit. You don't have to buy things you don't understand. You can choose a different path. The choice is, do you want to be the banker in 1929, or do you want to be awake? Do you want to sleep in a penthouse, or do you want to understand how the penthouse was built? The Great Depression wasn't inevitable. It was a choice. The choice of millions of people to ignore the truth. To believe that the system was different this time. To believe that they were special. They were not evil. They were not stupid. They were human. They wanted to believe in something. They wanted to believe that hard work and intelligence could make them rich. That's not wrong. What was wrong was ignoring the cost. So what's the lesson? Not that the market will crash, not that you'll lose everything, but that the system is designed so that if you're not careful, you will. And there's no one coming to save you. The government will try to save the banks, not you. That's what they did in 1929. That's what they did in 2008. That's what they'll do next time. The system protects those at the top, not those at the bottom. The government will try to save the banks, not you. That's what they did in 1929. That's what they did in 2008. That's what they'll do next time. The system protects those at the top, not those at the bottom. Diversify. Don't leverage. Understand what you own. Know your risk. These aren't exciting advice. They won't make you rich fast, but they might keep you from becoming poor fast. The banker of 1929 would give you the same advice now, if he could. He'd tell you, don't be me, don't think you're smarter than the system, don't believe the party never ends. The market will crash again. It's not a matter of if, but when. The game always ends. The party always stops. The only question is, will you be ready when it does? This is the story of 1929, but it's also your story. It's everyone's story. It's the story of what happens when we choose comfort over truth, when we choose to believe the comfortable lie instead of the uncomfortable truth. So the question remains, what will you do? Will you wake up? Or will you sleep in your penthouse and pretend that nothing is wrong? The choice, as always, is yours. Thank you for living this life with me. Thank you for asking yourself the hard questions. And thank you for being brave enough to choose truth. If you found value in this story, subscribe. If you learned something, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes.